There is a reason the warrior chooses to rise before the world awakens. In the early silence, when the night has not yet released its hold on the earth, the mind stands face to face with its purest nature. There are no distractions, no voices, no movement around you. Only the breath, the body, the thoughts, and the truth that cannot be avoided. This is the hour when weakness still sleeps. Comfort has not yet begun its persuasion, and it is in this moment that the disciplined spirit declares its dominance. To wake before the world is not merely to open the eyes early. It is to awaken the will before desire. It is to take command of the day before the day takes command of you. Most people rise when they must, not when they choose. They move only when routine forces them, and because of this they begin the day already defeated, already reacting, already following. But the warrior does not react to life. The warrior shapes it. The first victory is claimed before the sun arrives, when the body still seeks rest but the spirit chooses awareness. In the darkness of early morning there is a weight in the air, a heaviness that tests resolve. The body whispers that it is easier to remain where it is in warmth and stillness. But the path is not built through ease, it is built through confrontation. Each time the warrior rises against comfort, a message is carved deep into the mind. Weakness does not speak for me, desire does not rule me. I command my actions, and no force of habit will decide who I become. This is why so few choose this path. It is easier to wake up into distraction, into noise, into movement that requires no thought. But the one who seeks mastery understands that clarity is born in silence. Before the world demands attention, before obligations pull the mind in countless directions, there exists a narrow window where the spirit can stand alone. In this quiet space, intention is sharpened, purpose becomes visible, direction becomes undeniable. Without this moment of conscious awakening, the day belongs to chaos. The warrior rises early not for ritual, not for admiration, not for appearance. Rising early is an act of alignment. It is a declaration that the path is more important than comfort, that discipline outweighs indulgence, that the journey matters more than the momentary desire to rest. This is the difference between those who drift through life and those who carve their destiny. One waits for the world to awaken them, the other awakens themselves. Every morning is a test of allegiance. Either one remains loyal to the path or to the excuses that pull them away from it. This decision happens silently. No one sees it, no one celebrates it, yet it shapes identity more than any grand achievement. For when you choose to rise, even when the body resists, you are not merely waking from sleep, you are waking from weakness. The early hour reveals what remains hidden during the noise of the day. The mind cannot hide from itself, doubt becomes visible, fear becomes clear, hesitation comes into focus, and in that honesty strength is built. When the world is quiet, you are left alone with your truth. Many avoid this moment because they fear what they might discover inside themselves. But the warrior does not hide from the self. The warrior confronts the self and becomes stronger for it. In the stillness before dawn, thoughts move slowly, deliberately. The mind does not rush. There is no pressure to hurry, no competition for attention. This calm becomes a training ground for awareness, and awareness transforms into power. For the one who controls the mind at dawn gains control over it throughout the day. The one who begins with intention cannot be easily shaken by distraction, impulse, or chaos. The world may attempt to intrude, but the foundation has already been set. The discipline to rise early does not end with waking. It extends into how the first moments are lived. Each movement becomes deliberate, each breath becomes conscious. There is no rushing toward distraction, no reaching for noise to fill the silence. Instead, presence deepens, focus sharpens, the spirit steadies. This is where the difference is made, not in dramatic effort but in quiet control. Most people search for strength through intensity, through sudden effort, through rare moments of determination. But the warrior understands that true strength is not built through bursts of energy. It is built through steady, consistent command over the self. And there is no greater daily test than the choice between rising with purpose or surrendering to comfort. When the sun finally appears, the warrior has already met and conquered the first enemy of the day, resistance. The battle was fought not with weapons, not with force, but with will. While others awaken into confusion, the warrior enters the day already grounded, already centered, already victorious. And this victory multiplies into every action that follows. The world belongs to those who act before they are required to. The world bends to those who refuse to let laziness decide their fate. The spirit hardens each time it triumphs over comfort. The discipline strengthens each time awareness prevails over impulse. Over time, this morning battle ceases to feel like a struggle and becomes a natural part of existence. Rising early no longer feels like conflict, it becomes identity. To wake before the world is to say, without speaking, that I live by choice, not by habit. I move with intention, not with drift. I follow the path, not my weakness. And as long as this awakening continues, no challenge, no hardship, and no obstacle can truly conquer the spirit, because the first and most important victory has already been won. Strength is not forged in moments of comfort, nor is clarity discovered when the mind is lulled into ease. When I speak of discipline, I do not refer only to the discipline of the body, but to the discipline of thought, spirit, and intention. Each morning is a battlefield long before you face the world, because the greatest struggle begins within yourself. If the mind wakes in weakness, the body follows in weakness. If the mind rises in strength, the world bends differently before you. Many search for motivation, yet motivation is fleeting. Discipline, however, does not depend on emotion. It does not ask how you feel, it demands only whether you will act. When the body aches, when the air is cold, when your spirit wants to remain in stillness, that is when discipline tests you. To rise in such moments is to declare that you are not ruled by comfort. Comfort whispers that there is always more time, that tomorrow will be better, that effort can wait. But I have seen many warriors lose their lives because they believed they had time. Time is not granted, it is taken through decisive movement. The moment you hesitate, the enemy grows stronger, and often that enemy is your own hesitation. The one who trains only when conditions are favorable will never surpass the one who trains regardless of circumstance. To live with discipline is to accept that progress may be invisible today, just as a seed planted in the ground does not sprout in the same moment it is watered. But when you remain consistent, when you repeat the same effort day after day, your spirit sharpens like a blade dragged endlessly across stone. Others may not see the sharpening, but you will feel it in your judgment, in your patience, in your unshakable calm when others panic. There were mornings when exhaustion weighed upon my bones, when my body felt as if it resisted movement itself. Yet I rose because I knew that a warrior who allows his mood to dictate his action is a warrior who has already surrendered. Discipline means acting even when desire is absent. It means walking forward when your heart searches for excuses. A life guided by discipline becomes steady, and a steady life becomes powerful. Just as a river carves through mountains not by force but by persistence, discipline shapes destiny through repetition. Still, discipline is not harshness without purpose. It is not suffering for the sake of appearance. True discipline is alignment, the alignment of your actions with your deepest purpose. When you know why you rise early, why you push your limits, why you refuse the comfort others accept, then every challenge becomes meaningful. Without purpose, discipline becomes chains. With purpose, it becomes wings. When you understand that every small act is connected to a greater path, even the most difficult effort becomes a step toward mastery. There will be days when you feel as though nothing is changing, when your progress seems invisible, when doubt creeps into your spirit. In those moments, many abandon their path and return to comfort. But the 1% who rise with discipline do not measure their journey by immediate reward. They measure it by resilience. They know that each time they overcome resistance, they strengthen the unseen core within themselves. This unseen core is what separates those who endure from those who fall when life strikes without warning. Discipline also requires honesty. You must confront your weaknesses without denial. The warrior who refuses to see his flaws is already defeated because he is blind to the openings through which failure enters. When you recognize your weaknesses, do not recoil from them. Study them, train them, shape them. A blade becomes sharp not because it is flawless, but because its rough edges are repeatedly refined. Likewise, your character is honed through your willingness to acknowledge where you must grow. There is also discipline and restraint. Power is not merely the ability to act, but the wisdom to choose when not to act. Many mistake impulse for strength, but impulse is only the noise of undisciplined desire. The disciplined mind does not react, it responds. It observes, evaluates, waits, and strikes only when the moment is true. In battle, an undisciplined strike exposes the body. In life, an undisciplined decision exposes the spirit. Patience, too, is a form of discipline, and often the most difficult one. Do not believe that discipline removes freedom. On the contrary, discipline creates freedom. The one who is ruled by habit, distraction, and weakness is not free. He is chained by his own lack of control. But the one who commands his actions, who chooses effort over ease, who directs his attention rather than allowing it to scatter, that one walks freely because he is master of himself. And the one who masters himself cannot be easily swayed by fear, temptation, or doubt. As you walk your path, you will encounter others who mock your discipline, who call your effort unnecessary, who laugh at your refusal to live as they do. Do not allow their words to weaken your resolve. Many mock what they lack the courage to attempt. The path of discipline is lonely because few are willing to sacrifice comfort for greatness. But remember, the road walked by many rarely leads to mastery. The narrow road, the difficult one, is where strength is born. Discipline is not a single act. It is a lifetime of choices made in silence, unseen by others yet felt deeply within. It is the decision to rise when no one is watching, to practice when applause is absent, to improve for the sake of becoming, not for the sake of recognition. Those who depend on praise will crumble when the crowd disappears. Those who depend on discipline will stand firm even in solitude. And so, when you wake each day, ask not whether you feel ready, ask only whether you will honor your path. If you choose discipline, you choose transformation. You choose to sharpen your mind, strengthen your will, and rise above the pull of comfort. The world does not shape the disciplined spirit shapes the world. There is a battle that many never see, yet it determines the outcome of every visible struggle in their lives, the battle to rule the mind before the world attempts to rule it. When I speak of mastery of thought, I speak of the ability to shape perception, to choose meaning, and to control the direction of awareness even when chaos surrounds you. The undisciplined mind wanders, reacts, chases comfort, and flees discomfort. But the mind that is trained becomes an ally instead of a saboteur. It becomes the quiet commander that guides action with clarity rather than impulse. From the moment the eyes open, the world offers noise, distraction, temptation, and fear. If you do not seize your mind at that very moment, the world will seize it for you. The mind is like a battlefield at dawn. Doubt stands on one side, resolve on the other. Habit reinforces one army while intention strengthens the other. Each thought is either a step toward weakness or a step toward strength. Many believe thoughts appear and vanish on their own, that they are powerless against them. But thoughts can be trained, they can be shaped, they can be directed like the tip of a blade. The difference between the one who prevails and the one who falls is often not strength of body but strength of focus. When a thought of fear rises, the untrained mind becomes its prisoner. The trained mind studies it, understands it, and commands it to move aside. To train the mind, you must begin by observing it without deception. Watch your reactions when discomfort arrives. Notice how quickly you seek escape when unease touches your spirit. The one who avoids discomfort in thought will avoid discomfort in life. When pain appears, some allow their minds to fill with complaint and resistance. But pain is not the enemy, attachment to comfort is. When the mind learns to sit with discomfort, to breathe through it, to remain calm inside it, then pain loses its power to dominate you. Strength is not the absence of hardship. It is the refusal to surrender the mind to hardship. There is great danger in illusion. Many people build worlds in their thoughts that do not exist, and then suffer inside those imagined worlds as if they were real. They fear futures that have not arrived, mourn losses that have not occurred, relive injuries that have already passed. This is a prison created by the mind itself. The warrior who does not master imagination is controlled by ghosts of possibility rather than the reality before him. To live fully in the present moment is to see clearly, to respond precisely, and to act without hesitation. When the mind returns again and again to what was or what might be, the blade grows dull before it ever meets the opponent. But presence is not simply stillness, it is heightened awareness. It is the ability to sense the subtle movement of thought, the unseen intention inside your own spirit. When you walk, walk with your whole attention. When you breathe, breathe with awareness. When you act, act with totality. The mind that is divided loses power. The mind that is unified pierces through uncertainty. Even in stillness, the trained mind is alert, calm, yet watchful, quiet, yet ready. When I faced opponents, the victory often began long before the clash of steel. It began in the stillness where my mind remained unmoved while theirs trembled beneath their own anxiety. Training the mind requires repetition no less than training the body. Just as the hand learns to guide the sword through countless motions, the mind learns focus through countless returns to attention. Each time your thoughts drift, gently return them. Each time fear speaks, question it. Each time doubt rises, examine it. Over time, the mind becomes disciplined, less reactive, less eager to chase distraction or run from difficulty. What once overwhelmed you becomes something you can observe without being consumed by it. The world remains the same, but your inner stance changes, and that inner stance changes everything. Yet mastery of the mind is not coldness, it is not the removal of feeling, it is the transformation of feeling into strength. Anger uncontrolled becomes destruction, anger understood becomes energy. Fear uncontrolled becomes paralysis, fear examined becomes caution and precision. Sorrow uncontrolled becomes weakness, sorrow accepted becomes depth and compassion. The mind does not reject emotion, it guides it. The warrior who shuts down his heart becomes rigid and blind. The warrior who allows every emotion to control him becomes unstable. True mastery lies in balance, emotion present, awareness stronger. Many seek power outside themselves in tools, strategies, techniques, approval, or recognition. But the greatest weapon is the mind aligned with purpose. When thought, intention, and action move as one, even small effort becomes powerful. When they are divided, even great effort becomes scattered. Before engaging the world, ask whether your mind is unified or fragmented. A fragmented mind hesitates, contradicts itself, and wastes its own strength. A unified mind moves forward like a river that has carved its course through stone over years of unwavering flow. You must also guard your mind from the influence of those who live without discipline. Words are seeds. If you allow the seeds of doubt, envy, complaint, and weakness to take root, they will grow until they choke your resolve. Surround yourself not only with strength in others but with strength in your own thoughts. Speak to yourself with honesty, not flattery, with courage, not fear. The way you think about yourself becomes the way you move through the world. If you see yourself as fragile, the world will confirm that belief. If you see yourself as capable of endurance, your actions will rise to meet that vision. There will be moments when the mind feels heavy, when clarity seems distant, when your thoughts feel like a storm you cannot calm. In those moments, return to the simplest truths: breathe, stand firm, focus on the step before you. The mind does not always need to conquer the entire mountain, it only needs to remain steady enough to take the next step. Over time, each step becomes a testament to your inner command. Where others crumble under unseen pressure, you remain grounded because your strength does not depend on circumstance. It rests in the mastery of your own awareness. Mastery of the mind is the foundation of all victory. Without it, skill collapses under stress, courage dissolves under fear, and strength fractures under doubt. With it, even the most difficult path becomes possible because the greatest obstacle, the untrained self, has been overcome. When the mind is unwavering, the body follows, the spirit aligns, and your actions flow with purpose rather than resistance. And so, train the mind first, for the one who conquers the inner world has already begun to conquer the outer one.